Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about creationism and let's start with the definition.
Creationism is a religious belief that the universe, earth, and life were created by direct supernatural act of a divine creator. And often it would be interpreted literally from religious text like Genesis. It generally rejects or contradicts mainstream specific evidence regarding evolutions, also which was proposed by the Charles Darwin, who was saying that we were created by the nature, by the coincidence of something, and then we will develop to the high level creatures, and is often associated with fundamental or controversial religious groups, which will say that there is no need to improve something in our surroundings because we were created to be like a gods or look like a gods, and everything is the divine замысел.
Probably think or plan. Usually it's like a plan, the divine plan.
Divine plan. Yes, correct. Thank you.
And immediately it reminds me one of the things that when people say like it's gonna be all right, so meaning that there is someone or something that will come and help to make everything all right, as if they're playing a game where it's possible to have only good ending. So when we look at the creationism, it probably seems that it's heavily embedded into the most of the religions. So if we would look into like why people would just start think of that, maybe because of the different education or maybe different circumstances, or maybe different motives, because when you're saying that something is created to someone, you may be like a good, I would say, conductor, or like someone who is just can translate someone else's thoughts so that it would give you a power in something. So what is the root cause of this thing to appear?
Maybe I am mistaken, but let's judge from outside of the box. I think that core belief is that the universe was created by ex nihilo, out of nothing, by a God. So if something was so omnipotent to create an earth and everything on it, then the people, small people or little people, as Indian says, will never think how to change it. Okay, I am poor, and this was the divine promisal.
Plan.
It was a plan of the God. And then it is a literal interpretation, believing that everything has the purpose, and if you are not happy, it's also part of the plan.
Well, and then, yeah, we definitely will look into the roles of the people, because it seems that you don't have any will, you don't have any, even your own plans, or vice versa. You actually can justify whatever crap you do is, it's because there is a one that maybe programmed you, or maybe, said something for you. So how about the personal justification in effect of that? So usually you just would fall back to this thing saying like, hey, this is what it is. I cannot, or I don't want nothing else to do because I don't want to go against the high power.
Yes, you're quite right. But after we start to dig ground, after we start to find ancient text, we understand that there were several layers of the life on our planet. For example, sometimes you will find stones, and when you will crack it on the half, you will see ammonites inside of them. It's kind of nautic creatures. Sometimes you will find a very strange and huge bones from dinosaurs. And if the science would check it or test it, you will find that those bones would be addressed like 60 or even 90 million years ago. And for example, if you will found, I don't know how to say, янтарь. Amber, thank you. If you will find some piece of amber, inside would be like butterflies or even dragonflies. And if we will see how old those gems or those stones, we will found sometimes that even 120 million years old. And it gives us ability to understand that our religious books are mistaken when they write that our life is created just a few thousand years ago, and it was created in 6 days. If you will calculate how many creatures live on our planet, you will find about like 1 billion different kinds. It is about bacteria, it's about worms, it's about mosquitoes, and a lot of different stuff. So who could create such a huge amount of everything on a small planet? From another point of view, there is a lot of conflict with science. Creationism is distinct from scientific theories as it relies on faith rather than on the data we have already collected and which was passed through the computers. And mainstream science, including biology, geology, astronomy, archaeology, and paleontology, widely reject creationism in favor of evolution and a billion-of-year-old universe. People who are responsible to discover the main hidden truth about our universe, they saying that everything began from the Big Bang theory, and it was like 14 billion years ago, and we were starting from the scratch. So if we will write book about those time, it could be enormous amount of pages which should be filled by someone.
Well, and probably would say some of the quote which from one of the TV shows which I actually quite like a lot. So the person was related to different thing, but he said like, it looked like a, I would say like cheap sci-fi franchise that is sold to poor people so that like they can chew it. So giving that we have this kind of a thing at certain point of time, it might be very convenient to believe that like everything is created by something, and it's very easy to reject. So even if you're saying that there is like a huge I would say proof from the paleontologists or like any other scientist saying that this thing does not exist, I do believe at certain point of time, maybe it's for religion, maybe for like specific cults or whatever, it's still more convenient to act as a babies or maybe as a like a not so maybe more like a mean people and saying like, hey, yes, but let actually not use your arguments and still rule the society, because at certain point of time it's very easy to not turn critical thinking and maybe like follow something. So whether like this conflict still could be exist, whether it's with the creationism or maybe with any other of its like I would say introductions, or vice versa, at certain point of time like a science or maybe just a common sense will prevail and people would like think of how to do everything by themselves and not to have like any high power be responsible.
Good question. Once more, if everything was created by someone, then you have no rules and you have no chance to overcome obstacles which were created especially for you or for maze of your life. But if you could evolve and if you could go up on the ladder, then it create or cause a great issue for people and high institution. If everyone would try to climb on the Olympus, then there would be no place for the gods. So it's quite a good theory for cheap seats, as you told, because at this stage, people will say, okay, we are doomed to be poor, we are doomed to be peasant or to be fighters or to do some hard job because it's our destiny. And who will go against someone who is so omnipotent that created us? But from other side, our dream, not just American one, but also in a lot of countries, it was the same dream that if you are nobody, you could become almost everything if you will work hard, especially in Asia region, if you will read a Chinese book and so on. By the way, yesterday I was talking with my friend Kumar from India, and he told me a joke, and he was so laughing about it. It's not about our topic, but I couldn't resist to tell it in English because I would also hear in English. He was saying it was a request from a friend of mine from another Russian city, and he asked me, okay, could you please remind me the name of of the movie where the man is rich, girl is poor, and they a lot of dance. They dance a lot.
I think it's probably all of the movies.
Okay.
Well, and then my last question will be how knowing about creationism could help to make this world a better place.
You know, if we will talk about creationism in some churches, in some synagogues, in some Muslim temple, its name of mosque, mosques, you will be изгнан.
I would say send away.
Thank you. You will be sent away. Exiled. Yes, correct. Exile. You will be exiled because it is against the science, and it is agreed that no one should say to the people who have access to the book, to the science and to TV, that everything was created by the God or by some powerful and mightful force. So this is a small test. If people would say that Earth is flat, that we are created by someone, or some other topics which are rejected by the Academy of Science in the most countries, it will show us that people are not adequate, and maybe it is much better not to interact with them. For example, even in School of Troubleshooters, sometimes I exile some people, like 1-2 in a year, and several years ago, like 2019, it was people who bought 210 skills. It's the hugest purchase in our School of Troubleshooters. But anyway, after 56 of them, I was forced to exile him because he was trying to say me about flat Earth, and I decided that if I would hear something like this, I would stop any kind of education because I do not want to be connected with people who believe in such terrible things.
Well, and we review the skill of creationism and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.